Well. Everybody, this is great. It's great to be here. This is actually, for those who've been following my Squatch thoughts of the day, this is actually the first time I'm actually doing this live, and I don't know how long I'll be on here. There's no schedule set times for these whatsoever. I just speak about pretty much my thoughts and everything on my mind. And today I want to talk about tracks. We're not talking about just Bigfoot tracks, but there we go. I had to lower myself down a little bit here so you guys can see me. Well, there's something very important when it comes to squatching, and getting out in the woods. I know I'm going to probably sound like a broken record to a lot of you guys, and I know you guys hear me repeat this all the time. That's why I said I'll probably sound like a broken record. However, you know, if we're going to be out in the woods, I believe, regardless of what you're doing in the woods, I believe it's very important to become familiar with different animals and the species that live in those areas. For the very fact that you want to know if there's something dangerous in that area, regardless. So, for example, if you come across a set of tracks and you don't know what you're looking at, you could be in danger because if you do not know how to identify a cat track, like a mountain lion, a bear track, um, that can put you in danger, especially if you're very close to that animal. All right. Apart from that, there's a lot of times we always talk when I talk about animal tracks. I know a lot of times I talk about the larger species of wildlife, Bigfoot. The identifying of a track or identifying that species that track belongs to. Well, we need to think sometimes small too, because one thing I see, and it's been happening a lot lately, and some of you guys just may laugh at this, which I actually already do. I laugh at this, but there's people in there in social media claiming um, or talking about little people, but they're posting pictures of possum tracks. Possums have digits just like we do. Um, Raccoons have digits just like we do. You guys are familiar with raccoons. Theirs are usually a little bit longer, usually with claws. Um, but a possum tracks usually will not display claws or show claws, but they have their tracks look almost like this. Okay, see how close my thumb is right here? A lot of times their tracks will look like this, like this. Almost pretty much just the shape of my hand right here. Um, so yeah, lately what we're seeing right now is people posting pictures of possum tracks and insinuating or believing that there are little people leaving these tracks. Now I know another individual who actually have left, who actually found tracks like this, same exact tracks. Of course, they believe or they made a claim saying it was a juvenile Sasquatch. They actually have that track a cat, made into a cast, and they like to display it, and tell people it's a juvenile. But everyone that's seen it knows the real truth. Everybody that's familiar with wildlife knows and identifies it as a possum track. Well, they have a possum and a raccoon track, but the one particular track, that they call as a juvenile, everybody knows the truth. It is clearly a possum track. Same thing with what's going around now. We got possum tracks being passed off as the little people. You got to laugh at that one. Seriously, that's what's going on. I don't know how to inform people. I know I'm not the only one trying to get the word across, but there's people out there that are trying to take our known wildlife and trying to give other unheard of beings credit for leaving these tracks. And I think that's a little crazy. And sometimes it's crazy because there are certain people out there that share information and they mislead other people. All right. Basically, what they're misleading others, and others that listen to this They have a fear of correcting others due to the loss of friendship. They're afraid, oh, if I make a correction to this person that's making this claim on Facebook Live, they're afraid they're going to lose a friend. Okay? Well, first of all, if they're willing to get rid of you that quick, then you're not a friend. Or the other possibility is they do not want you, um, you know, spreading the truth when they want to keep it out as a story or a lie. What's up, Nikki? So, or the other thing is, a lot of them just go along with any old claim because they simply don't know any better. And that's the truth. A lot of people are so unaware, they're highly misinformed, or, again, in some cases, they are uneducated. And that's why I do what I do when it comes to wildlife. I feel that it's very important to present wildlife because people do not do it enough. And for the record, you can go to any wildlife center. Sometimes a lot of you can order online. You go to Walmart. I believe Walmart even has different little paper, little booklets where you can get guides, wildlife guides, track identification guides. These are very important. If you plan on going hiking in the woods, I highly recommend you learning something. If you don't know how to identify your known species, you need to carry a guide with you. It's best to review it before you even go hiking. Um, so, if you're gonna go in the woods, know what's out there. Get familiar with what you have a chance of encountering. Now, what we got Sasquatch. Okay, you got Sasquatch out there. All right. But I'm mainly talking to you guys tonight about wildlife and why it's so important to understand and how to identify wildlife because people are given other creatures or made up cryptids that don't exist credit. I mean, so it's very important. um, so thank you, Truth. Thank you, Nikki. So yeah, we got people out there either calling possum tracks little people, or we got some other people out there calling these possum tracks juvenile squatches. Wrong. A lot of these people don't even know. They don't know any better, or they're fooling themselves, and just want to. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, but I know people out there that actually made a cast of these raccoon and possum tracks, and they put them on a display and show people these are my juvenile squatch tracks. Yeah, they've been, people have laughed about them behind their back multiple times because, I mean, these people, they're fooling themselves, and it's sad. It is, and of course, uh, so yeah, I want to try to do my best. That's why I want to present information out there. When it comes to wildlife tracks, both big and small, I feel that it's very important. That it's very important to learn how to identify and and understand. So again, there's plenty of field guides out there. There's plenty of field guides when it comes to wildlife. Yeah, if you're a rookie or you're new to wildlife, um, definitely learn to become familiar with the wildlife before you go into any area. There's some people that claim they know all about wildlife. They know about this animal. They know about that animal. But yet they're going to tell you something completely different. Basically, the information that they share is usually really misleading, and people do fool you because they've already been fooled themselves, and they've already lied to themselves, and that's what this is about. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I feel that it's very important to try to get people become aware and get them to understand. So, Joyce is asking, how big do possum tracks get? Um, be honest with you, probably no more than that. About the size of a, if you're familiar with a raccoon track, they're about average on a raccoon's track. Very similar to a raccoon's track. Except the possum does not show claws. The raccoon does, not the possum. Uh, so, um, I wish I had something better off the. Actually, maybe I do. I'm trying to find something that may actually help you. Anybody who is familiar with a GoPro. All right, here's a GoPro action camera here. Basically, the squareness, the shape of this here, it's almost about the size of that, give or take. They could be a little bit bigger than this. This is about 2 inches, a good 2 inches, lengthwise. All right. They can vary. If it's a real big possum, it may be bigger than they can get a little bit bigger. Again, they vary in size, but most of them average about the size of a raccoon track. So those who are a raccoon track too. That's another one. They do look like little hand digits with little tiny mini claws, indentions shown in this. Like especially if the track is in the mud or the sand, they'll show little tiny indentions where the claws go. Now their rear hind feet, yeah, a raccoon's rear hind feet is going to look like a long, skinny looking. Some of them almost look humanoid, like a little tiny human track. They're like, they're only about 3 or 4 inches long. So, a possum, a possum's rear feet, yeah, they look. You know how the front ones almost look like this. The back ones will be all funky looking and maybe look like a weird display looking thumb, but I don't know, and kind of straggly looking fingers. And that's kind of how a rear part of the possum looks like. They're kind of funny looking. So definitely look the information up. And that's another thing that just came to my mind. This is information. We got technology. We got the internet. People can learn to look things up. Yeah, people can learn to look things up on the internet. You'll be surprised what you'll learn if you're new or not new. I mean, if you're not sure about something or you forget about something, Google it. Google is a good friend. You'll be surprised what you come across on the internet. There's all kinds of a good variety of things you can do comparisons with. The internet provides plenty of photography for educational purposes. And there's books out there, and there's certain individuals that don't believe in reading books, so they don't believe in science. But so I don't know how they learn anything. So, but look it up, read about it. You'll learn a lot. Trust me. Um, so that's enough of my rambling today. That's enough of my rambling. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, learn your wildlife tracks, both big and small. Go look up a field guide. Keep one on hand. Uh, Give one to your young ones. You let them get familiar with wildlife. Um, so, anyway, my dinner's ready. It's that time of the evening. I'm gonna go eat. So, you guys keep it squatchy.